spend part of it on a car.
Wait, you'd only need a little bit of it?
Yeah, for a janky old Ford Ranger, yeah, probably.
You haven't looked up car prices lately.
I have.
They
Car
are
prices are
expensive.
crazy.
On eBay, I have, yes.
Who buys a car on eBay?
A used one? Yeah. I'm buying a used car.
You're buying cars on eBay? What? Teenagers are crazy these days. Welcome back to another episode of the Interstate Podcast. I am Luke, the most ancient of all podcast hosts. This is my guest host today, Ranger.
Hello. That's me.
And we have a wonderful special guest, the infamous
Infamous.
Lazer.
He's kind of infamous. He's kind of
Lazer. What's your real name, Lazer? Lazer is a nickname.
So, real name is Eleazar. 4 syllables.
Do you have,
First son of Aaron from the Bible.
Look it up, folks. Look it up.
And if you're from Interstate and you're watching this, that is probably the first time you've heard this information, because I guarantee you 75% of the youth group does not know that your real name is Elias.
And don't
That's
start
true.
calling me Ellie, please.
No, Ellie's already we already have one Ellie.
We have one Ellie.
That's not a good nickname.
I'm
The
from here.
infamous Lazer, everybody.
Infamous Ellie.
So we're going to get started, a reoccurring theme, and we're probably going to run this straight through unless we don't have an Interstate member on the show, which could happen. How was Tuesday? I missed Tuesday, you guys. You got to tell me how Tuesday was. I did watch the sermon. I did watch the sermon, so I know what the sermon was about, but what'd you guys do Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Played 2 games of sit-down basketball.
We did play 2 games of sit-down basketball.
Okay.
That was really fun. The sermon, I really enjoyed the sermon. Ryan Reamer talked about how we tend to, or a lot of people tend to, blend in with the crowd, whether it's by literally standing in the crowd, adopting the same language as other people, or doing the same things as other people. And as Christians, we should reflect Christ, and during his ministry on earth, he didn't hesitate to stand out. He was one of the most famous people in his time. He was healing people left and right and died on the cross for our sins. That stands out pretty well.
Yeah.
So just as Christians, we shouldn't be afraid to stand out, disassociate ourselves from worldly things that everyone else is doing,
Right.
just because
Right.
everyone else is doing it.
I just had a really interesting thought, and you guys can both share on this. Where is it wrong, though? So, like, Jesus was super famous. Like, without a doubt, you read the Bible, he was famous. But, like, where does it go wrong for Christians today? Like, where is that line?
They let the fame get to their head, and then they start doing worldly things, because the audience that they accumulate ends up not being just Christians, and they want these worldly things, and they let that influence them.
Yeah. What do you think, Ranger? Where's the line?
I think the same thing. The fame gets to their head.
Yeah.
Like, they just think, oh, I'm popular, so I can do what I want, sort of. Like, I have more power, and then people don't know how to control that power or use that power. And so they'll use it for worldly means and ungodly means.
Yeah, it's kind of the mission, I guess, right? Like, what is the mission of what's their fame about? Like, what is their fame about? Is it about them, their church, their label, or is it about the Lord? Or like, what was Jesus? Like, what was Jesus's fame about?
Just
That's
doing.
such an interesting.
I find it that a lot of it was just doing impossible and improbable things. Like,
Yeah.
one of the most famous examples, besides healing people from incurable things, is turning water to wine, because that's something that 99% of the population is going to be like, that's impossible. How are you gonna it doesn't work like that. And so just him doing things that cannot be done physically. Like, one of my favorite examples is feeding the 5,000, where he made many from nothing. And it wasn't like he'd mass-produced a bunch of weapons or did some terrible thing. He used it to help people and to bring people to saving knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it was, he always rooted it back to the Father, right? It was all about doing the Father's will and what the Father wanted out of life, out of people. I think he was always after that. His fame was always built about somebody else, right? He was always like glorifying the Father. So I think Christians can get that wrong. Sermon was so good. If you have not listened to that sermon on our YouTube channel, we have all of our youth group sermons. That's worth a listen. It was really, really good. And if you're a student, like give it like 3 months and listen to it again.
Yeah.
And just assess at where you're at with that in school, because man, it's a revealing sermon, and it was, I don't know, it was convicting to me big time. Well, I want to ask you a specific question, and this was cultivated by our production team. Give it up for the production team.
Yeah,
you know what?
Get
some comments down below. Like, we love you, production team. So we really do love you guys.
Here's a secret. You've seen the production team on here before.
Here's the secret. There's nobody out here.
You know who the production team is. It's just you don't know.
It's actually Lazer. Lazer does everything.
I'm the mastermind. You've had no idea.
How it's cutting between frames right now?
It's just
mind.
It's Lazer's mind.
It's just
It's
Lazer.
telepathy.
So here's our guest specific question for you, Lazer. What's up with the outfit, man? Inquiring minds. This is, if we were to poll the youth group what to ask you in a podcast, this would be number one.
Probably.
So it's your chance to tell us, man.
For those of you who aren't in the youth group, he consistently.
This is what you see.
No matter
what you get right
here.
This is
what you see. No matter what. No matter if it's 112 out or if it's below 0.
To the point where if we were like, today we're having a theme day, everyone dressed in a Hawaiian shirt, we'll give you $50 if you do. He would come in dressed just like that.
He wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it.
He would be in those pants. He'd be in that sweatshirt at 102. It's crazy.
Yeah, so tell us.
So a bit of backstory on that. When I was...
We're getting into the Lazer lore right here. Everybody buckle up.
I'm so excited.
So years ago, when I was a new or interstate student when Biz was still going to interstate, I believe when I first started going, it was this red and black striped jacket that I used to wear every single week. I remember Paul Sheldon commenting on it, saying, "You're wearing this every week. What's going on?" And you can actually see me. I believe it was the 2019 video of Let Us Play With Your Looks Siggy Edition. I'm sitting right in the front row, wearing that red jacket.
Yeah.
Everyone, click off this video immediately and go look at. No, I'm just kidding.
Continue, Lazer.
So it started like that, and then obviously I grew, and so I went through a couple more jackets till I got till the ones I wear now. And recently it's been a bigger topic of discussion, and honestly I've kind of been getting annoyed that people are like, why are you wearing it all the time? Because I feel like, I'm not pointing anyone out, but I feel like I've been getting like insults and saying
harassed
almost because I keep wearing the same thing.
Oh, no.
And such that when the topic is brought up, I almost want to get mad, but it's just what I'm comfortable in. People wear what they want to wear to be comfortable, and this is what I'm comfortable in. And I guess I don't understand why people are like, oh, what you're wearing is lame. Why are you wearing that if that's what I'm comfortable in?
Okay. All right.
So chill. No.
Chill, internet. Come on, internet. All you people out there harassing Lazer for wearing a hoodie and a vest and a t-shirt.
Actually, the vest is new. The vest is new. It got added this summer camp.
Personally, I would like to see just the vest.
Just the vest.
No shirt at all underneath it. Let the arms breathe a little.
I considered
Get to show off the pythons.
I considered doing that at the baptism at Living Hope just after summer camp.
Oh, that would be good.
Should have done that.
But I didn't.
I would give you Dutch Bros.
Yeah, I would
Because
give
I know you
Dutch
love
Bros
Dutch
too.
Bros.
I don't know if I liked any of your answer, but it was an answer. So I think we're
What?
going to move on. I think there's deeper lore to be uncovered. I think you're going to release it in your last day. You're going to be like, the joke's on all of you.
Here's the real reason.
Here's the real reason.
Rips off his sweatshirt. It's just a full tat, like, on his chest.
I've been having a full body tattoo going all school year. That's so good.
That's amazing.
Well, let's move on. We have a new reoccurring segment. We're going to try to do this every single week. And you're sitting right next to it, Lazer. You don't even know. We have these new cards. They're called talking point cards.
I did see
And we
that.
have 3 categories: teens, Christian, and family. And we have, again, production. We've cultivated 3 questions. Now, you only have to read one. Do you want to pick from the teen, the Christian, or the family topic? They're all really good. And we can answer too, Ranger.
Choose
Ranger Knight.
wisely.
And it's just the top card?
Just the top card. You don't get to dig into the box. Oh, no.
Lazer, I know you can. There's going to be a loophole, even if it's like a deep, like,
There's
question.
no loophole. There's no loophole.
Yeah, there's going to be a loophole.
No,
It's
if-
And
gonna
this
be-
is
you-
just
I
as-
believe in
knows.
you.
He
Just
knows.
to remind you guys, this is a podcast, not a game show. So just pick a card. Let's do it.
All right. I'll go teen.
Ooh,
Just reach
okay.
over and grab it, and
Yeah,
I
go
read
ahead.
it out.
Yeah, read it out
Okay.
loud.
If someone said to you, "I don't believe in God," how would you answer?
That's good.
That's a tough question. I think I would start. I think I would start with their reasoning. Why don't they believe in God? And when I thought about this question for a second, it reminded me of I think it was a Calvary movie watch that we did a while ago, where we watched like a Christian-based movie where one of the characters didn't like was hardcore atheist, didn't believe in God because earlier in his life he had a bad experience with him where he prayed and prayed and prayed and he lost someone in his life, and that's why he didn't believe in God, which may be a common reason where they have a bad experience with him, then they want nothing to do with him.
Right.
So I think I would start finding out the reason why they don't believe in him, whether it's because they have a different religion or because they had a bad experience with him or because they just don't like the concept of someone controlling them and having an ultimate power. And then once I figure out the reasoning, depending on what it is, it could change my approach to how I continue. And generalizing that, there's not much I can go beyond besides planting the seed of the gospel and letting the Holy Spirit grow, because we're not called to plant the seed, to water the seed, and force it to grow quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
We're just called as Christians to plant the seed and leave it there. And if it doesn't work in that exact moment, they don't become totally Christian, that's fine. That's not what we're called to do. Maybe the Lord's working on something in their life, and 20 years, 30 years down the road, maybe on their deathbed, they truly accept him. And the Lord is happy to do that. He's happy to have another person in heaven with him. It just takes time for different people.
Yeah, I like that. Get into the root of why. I would just ask them why. Like, okay, so you don't believe in God. Why? Like, what leads you to that?
Yeah, I think that's what I would do too. Start with what's, like he said, what's their reasoning?
Yeah.
Why don't you believe? And then what do you believe?
Yeah, that's a
about
better
what's-
question.
What's
like,
true? What do you
Interesting.
believe is true?
Yeah.
And then go from there.
I saw a statistic, and I'm not going to even say the actual number because who knows? It was just in another podcast. But what do you guys, in a percentage wise, how many people on earth do you think are completely atheist? Like, because this statistic that I saw was staggering, like to where not very high. I mean, I didn't mean to, that kind of
That's what I think. I think it's like, it's going to be lower than what you would guess.
way lower,
Way
like
lower.
a minuscule amount.
I think it's gotta be, considering there are almost 8 billion people on Earth. People may guess 10 to 15%. It's gotta be less than 4 or 5%, I'd imagine.
I think so. The statistic, I don't want to say it, but yeah, it was less than that.
Yeah.
Because who knows? I
Who
mean,
knows the
that-
accuracy?
that would be a wild survey.
Yeah.
We asked 8 billion people.
8 billion.
But seriously, I would, knowing that though, coming from that place and just be like, well, tell me what you believe, because
Mm-hmm.
that's a very unique belief. You'd want to be really sure. That's what I always
Yeah.
tell people is like, say I'm right about God and you're wrong. That's one thing, but say like you're wrong. That, as an atheist, that you're in trouble. Like that is a rough place to be. Like,
Yeah.
you want to search. So I always try to land with atheists or people who are just flat out against God. Just like keep searching. That's what I tell them most of the time where it comes up, like, because they're on a search for something usually. Interesting question.
Mm.
I like those cards though. They're really
They're
good.
good
I want to bring them out no matter who the guests are, and we will maybe if they're not teens, we won't do the teen one. Although teen questions are good. This is a podcast for teenagers.
Podcast.
This is.
I mean,
We make it for our youth.
I mean,
But
it
if
could,
you're not a youth out there,
yeah, 10 to
Still-
10 to
still-
20 to 30 to 50 to 80. Who knows? You could really be any age and watch
Hannah's
this.
grandparents.
Yeah. Another Ranger. You got a question for Lazer? Now that we got him in the hot seat.
I mean, I was gonna ask the question that you just asked.
I'm assuming that's
the
what
clothing.
everyone asks.
Well, I have
Um,
another one. If you don't.
Yeah, you go ahead. You ahead. If you have one,
So-
like
One thing I know about you that our audience might not know is that you have been in college, even though you're high school aged, you've been in
Yes.
college. What's that like as a social aspect? Like you're friends with high schoolers, but you are in college. What's that like?
Yeah.
What's the difficulties? What's that like?
So it's an interesting feeling. One of the difficulties, probably one of the biggest difficulties, is it's very hard not to use it as a bragging point.
Mm.
I think I'm generally okay at not bragging about it, but sometimes, especially when people become particularly fascinated with that, it's difficult not to at least brag a little or just not be as humble as I should be. And with just how I interact with people, I think that
That's an interesting. I didn't think
Yeah.
you were going to go there, but I get it now. I can see that.
yeah,
I can see that. Is it
'cause-
from a
yeah.
point of being more mature or more intelligent, or just the fact that you're leveled up essentially? Like, what's the root of that?
the root of
Feeling better than everyone else? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Feeling like, why is
potential bragging.
Yeah, like what's the
Just-
root of that?
Just that I'm in academic pursuits above most of the population and people that I know around my age, and that's not normal. That's better than expected, and so
I see.
if I'm above expectations, it's hard to be humble about that. Yeah.
It's like playing ranked Apex all the time and then
Yeah.
slumming it with us
mm,
in a regular match.
It's
I get it.
I won't
get
get
it.
into that. I won't get into that.
No,
I
I
could talk so
understand.
much
I
about
understand.
that.
this man loves Apex.
Yeah.
I'm-
Trust me, we're not going to talk about it either.
It's
However, related to the gaming industry,
Pokemon
why
Go.
Pokemon Go? Why?
okay.
Why don't you play Pokemon Go? Give us your reasons.
That's another thing that I easily get frustrated about. I'm sorry to say, because I've also been getting comments like, "Oh, you're lame. Your mom is cooler than you because she plays and you don't. Why
Yeah,
don't
but-
you get this game?"
Wait, your mom is really cool though.
Your mom is really.
I'm not
cool.
saying that
That's-
she isn't cool.
Oh, okay.
But just people have been not assaulting me. That sounds bad.
Whoa!
All right,
Hold
I'm going to take a quick break here. This is a
Let's insert an
podcast
ad
for
right here.
teenagers. This is a Christian podcast. There's been no assaulting. I would know.
Except
Okay.
at summer camp
no.
when you pour salt in your glass of water, that's called.
I tell you what. Either I feel like there's two options. One, you just start playing, or two, we have to back off you a little bit.
Yeah.
We are telling you to play because we want you to be socially with us. We're not like, for me at least, I don't even care about the game. I just like that we're all doing it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
think
that
that's a
from
big
if
part
I
of it.
harassed you at all, it's from that point.
Yeah,
It's not because I'm not promoting the game. I don't actually care about the game.
Yeah.
However, if you spend $5 on Pokecoins, you get, and if you use code Interstate at checkout,
You get nothing at all.
you get nothing at all.
Yeah, try it. I dare you. With
They actually had code Interstate for 5% off your Pokecon.
Pokecon. That's probably a thing.
That's probably a thing.
That is definitely a thing,
Pokemon
actually.
convention
Yeah,
confirmed.
yeah. So
Yeah.
just tell us right now. We'll end it. Are you ever gonna play
Not in the foreseeable future.
again?
All right,
That was a
everybody back up.
non-answer.
Yep.
Just like you're close. You're a good interviewer. You're interviewing like a politician right
Like
now.
a politician, that's what I.
Not. And this is not a talk show. This is a podcast.
This is not a talk show. I mean, last week it kind of was, but
I like
Almost
how
was.
every week we have to remind ourselves what
this
we're
is
doing.
not a talk show. This is not a talk show. This is not a talk
On the 500th episode, you're like, what is this? Is this a podcast still? I don't.
Speaking of Pokemon, would you rather go to Interstate in like neon clothes or play Pokemon Go?
And why? Tell us why you would choose the one over the other.
Does Neon Black exist?
No,
No, actually, it does not.
it's a weird question.
Forget that. Man, one of the reasons I just don't want to play Pokemon Go is because of the addiction side, because I struggle with that. So probably clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Okay.
Wow,
Because
that's a
then,
self-aware. That's
That
a
is a good
mature.
answer.
That's a mature answer.
because I get there early, I can just bring my regular clothes, get
Okay.
there, change.
There's the loophole,
Loophole,
everybody.
baby.
There's the loophole.
Oh,
How
yeah.
have we not named him Loophole?
Can we
That
call
should
him
be his
Loophole
nickname.
Lazer? Loophole Lazer, right there.
LL.
What a day when my favorite summer camp moment was right after the worst summer camp moment when you were getting thrown in and Lazer's gonna get thrown into the river. It's late in camp, like the end of the week,
Oh yeah.
and I lock eyes with him before he goes down, and I said, "Do you have any extra clothes?" And he looked at me like a dog at a kennel,
I'm
and he was like the puppy dog eyes, and he was just like, "I don't."
I'm
please.
literally standing there, hands on hips, panting like, no, I have nothing.
He gave me this gaze, and then I turned, and the mob was just like,
Throw it in.
Get him.
"We want Barabbas."
I had to ride home in sweatpants. In the sweatpants I slept in all week.
So that was my worst moment of camp. But then directly afterwards, when Lazer came to chapel in normal clothing,
It was the
It was
best.
the best moment of camp.
okay.
moment.
That was
sight
Bubba's
to behold.
shorts and Sushi's shirt.
Not his shorts, his swim trunks.
His
Lazer-
swim trunks.
Lazer, you just look alive with normal clothes on. You look youthful
It's
and
true.
energetic. You look like you want to come give everyone a hug. But you know what? You're good. You be you. I'm not going to
Thank
harass you about your clothes on the
I
podcast
appreciate that.
anymore.
On the anymore. Thanks.
Lazer, if you could give, this is something I really wanted to ask you. I was thinking about it while I was mowing my lawn. If you could find yourself, younger Lazer, when you first came to youth group, okay, what is different about you now? Like you meet yourself and you're like, oh, and I mean everything, maturity or your relationship with the Lord or whatever. How have you grown? What's like the most drastic difference between you and your first iteration?
Well, I think that I have matured a lot in the Lord since I first started at Interstate.
How so?
And just, I had always been exposed to the Lord growing up, but that new influence on my life, because I had gone to like a couple youth groups before, but they weren't as regular or nearly as large as Interstate. So just the friendly connections I made with both students and leaders, just helped me mature in the Lord because I was in that scenario every single week.
Okay.
And also, I think it may not seem like it, but I'm a lot more, I guess, less shy. I was a lot more reserved back then, probably because I didn't know very many people. But I think it's a lot easier now because I'm friends with a lot of people, and I'm one of the oldest interstate students.
Yeah, you're so old, man.
I am old. I was just thinking.
Lazer's so old, he's making me look young.
Lazer's old.
Oh no! Don't start that in the comments, please.
Everyone start that in the comments.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about, like, well, it's less than a year till I'm an adult. Then I'll have to start doing adult things, and
Oh,
that feels really weird.
It feels really weird. This is your last year at youth group, huh?
It is.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be very strange.
It's a very strange thing. It's always sad when we lose members.
I plan to come back as a leader. That is.
Hey, you heard it here first, folks.
Yep.
Laser leader.
This is going to be on the internet forever. So if you're off gambling blackjack someday, I'm going to show up with my phone and be like, "What's wrong with you?
What is this man doing?"
Get back on your feet." No, I should speak life. You're not going to be like that. I think it was the addictive. You said like it's an addictive thing, and now I'm thinking about that.
I'm not a habitual gambler.
So tell us how addicted you are in Apex. No, I'm just kidding.
Recently,
Shots
since
fired.
camp, I've played it like 7 times, and not more than like
get a round of
45
applause.
minutes.
Round of
I play it
applause.
because it's fun, and then I get bored, and then I stop.
Yeah,
It's nothing. I will admit when I this sounds bad, when I was like, oh, there's some lore that I missed. Oh no, but then I'm realizing that it doesn't really matter a lot.
No.
It's I'm not sure. I think a combination of being on break from regular classes and summer camp really broke me from that.
Yeah.
I think I don't have much
Yeah.
time spent in that anymore.
That is something that I would tell like my younger self, even in my youth group as a leader. There's a moment where you start experiencing the Lord and knowing him well enough that almost everything loses its flavor. So it seems kind of daunting to say that even, and it seems almost negative, but it's actually so good that games, hobbies, vacation, even like the newest thing, it all just doesn't satisfy you, and you know that.
Yeah.
Instead of being like wooed by the enemy to be all in on that.
Yeah.
That's a hard sell for teenagers, for anyone to be like, hey, follow Jesus. Everything kind of just doesn't matter anymore.
In that state, you're like, oh no, I don't want to lose these things that have value.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah.
But so what do you guys, I mean, Ranger, you can answer this. We all answer this. What does that mean? Like where do you, doesn't mean we ever play video games again or do anything. Where's the healthy?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it doesn't mean we don't ever do those things again. It just means that they need to have their place.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to not be the first thing you think about when you wake up and the last thing you think about when you go to bed. Like, all right, let's get just the chores done and then we can play Apex all day, or insert any other game here or any other thing here.
Wow, that was so good, man.
Yeah.
Find out what you're going to bed thinking about, and find out what you're waking up and thinking about, and there's your treasure. There's your...
I think a big part of it is also fellowship. If you're playing a single player local game that can't be played with anyone else, that's just for you. You're literally excluding anyone else, any and everyone else from that situation. But if you've been a big help in this, starting multiple Minecraft servers and inviting people here and there, it creates this community. I don't want to say separate from interstate, but it creates this different community that almost has like a different feeling to it because
within
you're-
interstate. Yeah.
within interstate because you're connecting over this thing that you can all have fun with.
Yeah.
And so if it's a common point of interest, that can lead to some amazing fellowship and discussions.
Totally.
Yeah.
The fun is hanging out together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the game is just like the avenue.
Aside,
Or like
yeah.
Totally.
That's a huge thing, you guys. If you can get that before you leave youth group, you're going to be set.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was well into my probably 30s before I learned that.
Mm.
And that's a lot of wasted time and energy, honestly. Yeah, that's so good. All right. If you could have, you got something for him? I don't want to skip ahead too fast.
Mm.
We have a little thing we want to start.
Oh.
We want to we have a little Minecraft Lego figure. Can
Yeah.
you show that, Ranger? It's right over.
It's right here.
Yeah.
So, this little man, he shall be hiding somewhere. He shall be hiding, looking at you. Gazing upon your eyes while you watch the podcast. He watches over you when you sleep. No, I'm just kidding.
That got really weird.
But he'll be somewhere else next week. So if you find him, first person. Oh shoot, he fell.
Anyone, if you can find him in the set, we're gonna hide him, and if you can find him in the background, comment below where he's at. There could be prizes.
First person, there could be prizes.
$500.
No, what?
Supplied
No,
by the barber.
we didn't say that. We didn't. The barber. Speaking of the barber, Lazer, when are you gonna let inquiring minds want to know? When are you gonna let the barber on those luscious locks, those curly cues?
I don't like that term.
You got curly cues, bro. I don't know.
I do.
Those curly little fuzzy caterpillars up on that head.
Lazer has the most glorious, the potential for the most glorious afro in all of youth group.
When it's worked with right, it's very Bob Ross like.
Yes.
It's very. I just
glorious.
need to dye it a little bit.
Honestly, if we can get you to have like a colored afro,
I kind of want.
You would go down
picture
into
this,
interstate history.
What if it was fade, like high fade, and then it was just the afro like square?
I will say,
just a cube.
Geez.
Yeah.
I will say there has been one person in particular. I won't say who it is. that has really been wanting me to get Pop Smoke braids.
I'm down.
You know
with
what
that.
those are?
I don't, but they sound wonderful.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Would you ever do that? It sounds painful. I'll be honest.
It's
production has the tab open on their phone. That's just Pop Smoke braid images.
I hear they're in cahoots with the barber potentially.
Get your haircut, yes or no, by the barber.
No.
Internet one. No. Okay.
Don't think so. Doesn't look plausible.
Okay.
Production is crying.
Production's crying.
So comment down below. How can we entice Lazer to get his haircut by the barber?
Yeah. What?
$500,000.
$500 bucks. That's like 2 cents.
Is that your currency? Currency. Is your like how we could pay you off as actual money?
Dutch Bros.
You're like $500, just cash, and I'll do it.
If you want
money in the bank,
want a full bald, no hair left, $10K.
$10,000?
What would you? All right, what would you do with $10,000? You have it right now. You can spend it on anything. You don't have to save it for college or your house, or you're spending $10,000 right now.
Man, this really flipped around on me, didn't it?
It did. I'm interested. I want to know what you would say too.
I'd spend part of it on a car.
Wait, you'd only need a little bit of it?
Yeah, for a janky old Ford Ranger. Yeah, probably.
You haven't looked up car prices lately.
I have.
Car
prices
expensive.
On eBay. I have. Yes.
Who buys a car on eBay?
A used one? Yeah. I'm buying a used car.
You're buying cars on eBay? What teenagers are crazy these days? Do you bid on them? You're like,
no, I just looked at prices, man.
$204.
I don't know if eBay prices are accurate for cars.
Probably not.
Okay,
that's
so
literally one of the main things that they sell.
This is not a podcast anymore.
No, it isn't. On the next episode of eBay stuff, that's weird.
Yeah, we changed the name.
Selling
interesting.
children.
All right,
Podcast.
what are you spending 10 grand on?
I'd probably give a little bit to my family. Spend like give to the church. And I'd also probably
Wait, so you're just giving money to you're just taking the money home, being like, Mom, Dad, here's $3,000. Just here you go.
why not?
That's
I
sweet.
mean,
Okay.
I still live with them, so
It's true. Here's $3,000. It covers 1/10 of the food I ate over the last 2 months.
yeah.
Enjoy.
Enjoy. Thank you.
And I'd
That's sweet,
also one of the first things that came to mind was somehow, I don't know how, but upgrading the podcast setup. I mean,
Ooh,
a good
donation to the podcast.
$7,000, $10,000 into the podcast setup would be
Dude.
insane.
Sounds like we're hiring another production member,
Dude.
except we actually pay them. That's sweet.
That
That's
no,
sweet.
that would be good. We would use that money to get some of the guests on
Yeah.
that people have requested. Speaking of, what guest would you have? You could have anybody,
Yes.
and
Yeah, we love asking.
you know the
epic
question.
guests.
What he says has to be reasonable. It can't be Mr. Beast.
We don't want Mr.
We don't want
Beast.
Mr. Beast.
No, you know what, Mr. Beast, if you're watching, no offense, man.
No offense.
It's just
No
that
offense.
it's just not doesn't jive
He's not
with
watching,
what
but
we're-
if he was,
It's not like
He
that.
could
We
be
don't
watching,
like
bro.
you. We don't. If you were watching, comment down below, please.
Yeah,
We need to
Mr.
see-
Beast.
Can I be honest? If I was Mr. Beast and do what he did every day, this is the kind of thing I would watch on YouTube. I'm not watching other people imitate me or like some big crazy person. I'm chilling,
Yeah.
watching some
listening to teenagers talk
Podcasts.
about how they're spending 10 grand.
How they're spending the Mr. Beast winnings.
Yeah.
When
Who would
they
you
miss-
who would you have as a guest?
Two that come to mind are Ryan Herring and Matt Johnson. I would
Ooh,
really
nice.
like to see either of them. That would be
We'll get them
really
both.
interesting.
We'll get them
We'll
both.
get 'em
on the
on.
same
Confident.
episode, both in this chair
No,
at the same time.
We couldn't do that. No offense, guys. The podcast would explode.
That would go down.
It would be a
Hell.
2-hour podcast, and someone would do something crazy.
I would not be surprised if Ryan did like a backflip and then ended up like kicking something off
He
the
Yeah.
ceiling.
would.
That would be a show. That would no longer be a podcast.
That would be a TV show.
That would be entertainment.
There is rumors that next week we are, in fact, getting Matt Johnson on the show.
Oh,
That's a rumor. So we'll see.
You
We'll
knew
see.
that already, I think.
what?
We'll have to tune back in next week to see if that came true.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, who's your... I don't think we've ever asked you, Ranger. Who's your... Anyone that's somewhat
Anyone.
plausible. Well, you can reach for the stars. I mean,
Don't reach for Pluto.
yeah.
Well, number one is Jesus.
Jesus
Okay.
confirmed. Next podcast episode.
No, but one that I think is also going to be happening, Connor. I would really want to have Connor.
Connor is a good one.
Connor is a good guest.
Why do you... This is a good... We could jump off of this. Why is Connor's name always... First of all, it's always brought up.
Mm.
But why, why?
I think he's
What about him?
just really, really nice and likable. And because he's so nice, people like him and are like, oh, he makes me feel good. He's not mean to me. He's very accommodating and uplifting.
Yeah. He
Mm.
does. He makes you feel good.
He
Yeah.
does, definitely.
And I think it's because everything that he tries to do everything for the glory of God, and
Mm-hmm.
once you do that, you do emanate that. People know that's what is happening
Yeah.
because people know that you're on fire for God, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like it's just his smile.
Yeah.
His smile
Yeah.
is very...
production is being very
Contagious.
distracting right now.
In a
His
good
smile
way.
is very contagious.
In a
and-
good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
sincere. And yeah, I feel like Connor... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about just being happy, you guys. Joyful.
Mm-hmm. For the Lord.
Just joyful in everything you do. It could change
Mhm.
everything. We kind of want to go out and tell everyone about Jesus and hand out tracts and recite scripture. And I feel like sometimes the Lord is like, What if you just smile at people?
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
It could really change things. Well, I really like the talking point cards.
That's
That was
fun.
good.
I like
That
That
those.
was good.
Uh,
That was
I'm
good.
the first person to do it. I feel honored.
Yeah, it's a new thing. You were
Mm.
the first one. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Lazer, we will. Would you ever want to join the team here?
Yes, I would
Join the
love to
production
join
team.
the team.
Join the production team.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which
It's
means I can
growing.
be on again as a
We need to
co-host.
have like
What's your?
a resume.
Yeah, we're gonna need even though
resume.
that we know
I have
you.
made a resume before.
We'd like to see a resume. You're gonna need to talk to the barber.
Yeah.
He's our makeup person.
Maybe that's
He's
that's
our
the
man.
rite of passage.
Yeah.
He has to get his hair cut by the barber.
What's your skill set? What would you bring to the table?
Live music. Guitar in the background.
Okay.
not
Yeah.
plausible.
Wait, this
That-
is not
no.
a talk show.
This is
Right.
But it would be kind of epic if we had another camera in the background and,
and just
Lazer
somebody
just
jamming out.
in between segments.
I'm just playing bass in the background.
You just play bass and sing a little
Ding,
bit.
ding, 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 ding.
That's so good. That's so good. Well, I think that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us, Lazer. You
Yes,
did
of
great.
course.
Thank you for not wearing the sunglasses. We like to see your
He
eyes.
had sunglasses
That was a
on.
big deal for you. I could tell.
They didn't get to see it. It's
They
kind
didn't
of
get
sad.
to see it.
Maybe if production tosses it to me. No.
Production glasses.
Yeah, let's hit the glasses
Hit
with
him
the
with
outro.
the glasses.
Hit me with the glasses for the outro. That was very.
That was true.
That was a
That
fastball.
was, he hit
That-
him.
That almost hit me too.
Yeah, we will see you guys next week with possibly Matt Johnson. And
Rumors heard. Subscribe to find out more.
Yep, subscribe if you liked the things that you just heard. Lazer,
Yes.
thanks for keeping it real. We will see you guys on the next episode.